I'm going to be giving you the Coca-Cola recipe on what types of ads are crushing for the 2024 algorithm, sharing what types of hooks we use that are seeing the most success with, the psychology behind hooks and why it is that those hooks are working, the kinds of folks that you actually want to be putting in your ads, as well as breaking down the types of static and video creatives that are going to crush for your audience as well as across any vertical.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be breaking down the biggest 3 insights on how to create killer Facebook ad creatives for the 2024 algorithm. These are the 3 critical steps for you to be able to crush Facebook ads this year for you, your clients, anybody. Now, insight number 1, open loop hooks. Well, open loops are this idea of starting an idea or starting to express something or an event kicking off or taking place and then followed anticipation from that event. Think cliffhanger in a TV show. Breaking Bad by many is considered the greatest TV show of all time. Now, what did they do consistently across all their episodes? They would have cliffhangers at the beginning of each episode to wonder, okay, how did this happen? I remember the episode with Tuco, spoiler alert, where they showed Jesse's car bouncing up and down with bullet holes in it. And then you're left wondering, like, what just happened? Even talking about that now gives me chills. So how does this relate to ad creative? Well, the key with great ads is storytelling. Now, if you want the exact hooks that we use in our ads that are proven time and time again across industries to work and create effective stories, then stick through to the end because I'm going to give you them. Now, when it comes to ad creative, the Brand Shop found that a whopping 92% of consumers want brands to make ads that feel like a story. On top of that, 55% of consumers say they're also more likely to remember a story than a list of facts. And 68% of consumers say that brand stories influence their purchasing decisions. Now, I've talked about this countless times on this channel, but the ad creative is 47% of the reason why somebody buys a product or service, the biggest variable. Now, 80-20 dictates that hooks are 80% of the ad creative. They are the most important thing because if somebody doesn't watch the first 3 seconds of the video, they're not going to watch the rest. So for us, it's up to create a cliffhanger leading to a climax within the first 3 seconds of the video so we can capture attention. Now, evidence also shows that companies with compelling brand stories have a 20% increase in customer loyalty and 64% of consumers make a purchase after watching a branded social media video. Now, why does this matter? Well, in the modern world, as I'm sure you're aware, kids are on TikTok, their attention spans are getting even shorter. Like, it's only a matter of years before we go full goldfish. Looking at the data or historical trends, in 2000, the average attention span was 12 seconds. In 2013, it was 8 seconds, and it's just continuing to decline. So as advertisers, this matters because it's up to us to capture attention as quickly as possible and retain it for as long as possible. By using foreshadowing, cliffhangers, or other tools to create suspense or anticipation or leave a lagging sense of curiosity is how it is that we can hold attention for as long as possible. Now, insight number 2, use influencers. Now, for the longest time, I never understood branding, why it matters, right? Well, celebrities are their own established brands. They represent something. When you think of The Rock, you think about muscles and action movies. When you think about Tom Brady, you think about class, excellence, dedication, and discipline. So both of these personal brands that I mentioned have established associations with them. So when I saw Tom Brady endorse Christopher Klaus, which is a blue light blocking glasses brand, I instantly bought a pair. I liked them so much because they were stylish, they were practical, utilitarian, that I bought my friend a pair as well. And these are not cheap glasses. These are $180 glasses just from Tom Brady's endorsement. Why? Well, because every time they endorse a brand, they are sending traffic as well as association to that brand, which what happens? That increases the audience growth as well as revenue growth for that brand. Now, because people are like following celebrities, they get wrapped up in their lives, they live vicariously through them. People care a lot about celebrities and influencers. And as a result of that, the content that celebrities and influencers post on their feed appears native. Now, if you haven't watched my video on native ads, then go ahead and watch that video. Second is the advantage of using celebrities and influencers is they bypass what we call the reptilian part of the brain. Now, I go into detail along this on the other Facebook ad video in terms of that increase your conversions in a lot more detail. But this lets us appeal directly to the buying side of the brain and avoid the reptilian part of the brain that ignores homeless people in the street, salespeople, or that part of your brain that just instantly shuts off as soon as you realize it's a sales call because you want to be sold to. That part of your brain is the reptilian part of your brain that's helping keeping you alive. Now, lastly is using memes. Now, all communication uses something called frames. I'm going to talk about, there's two separate ideas here, which is the framing effect and then frames. They are somewhat related, but different. Now, frames are the subtext of all communication. A frame is a belief communicated belief, the wording in the communication. Now, in marketing, the framing effect is the difference in decision-making when the same information is framed in different ways. People tend to avoid risks when presented with gain frames and seek chances when faced with a lost frame. So, for example, we just look at the facts here. And if we go back to earlier, people are far more likely to buy something or remember a story than they are just the facts. So 22 MPG. Most people aren't going to know what that means. In fact, when I first looked at that, I didn't even know what it meant and I spent 3 minutes trying to figure it out. But it's miles per gallon versus best in class fuel economy, or what messaging resonates. So getting back to frames. Frames is the subtext of the conversation. Now, whoever has the stronger frame in the communication is who is going to win out the frame battle, where there's conflicting ideas. Now, in the case of marketing, we have a specific messaging that we want people to believe, and they have their own internal beliefs, belief systems, ideas, etc. Now, humor is a way to make people feel included and part of the group. So by using humor, it bypasses and it helps break down and penetrate people's frames because it makes them feel part of something bigger because they get it and they're now part of the in crowd, as my dad would say. So this also helps us bypass the reptilian side of the brain and appeal to the emotional side of the brain. Now, people's feeds are also filled with memes. So the other reason why memes make great ads, watch my Facebook ads formula that makes lead generation effortless. Also talking about the influencer effect. Now, using interviews. Remember in point number 1 where I discussed storytelling. Interviews are a candid and authentic way for us to tell stories. They open up with a hook that is a question, which leaves the audience wondering what is the answer to that question. So interviews are a great way, and asking questions are a great way to tell that story inside the first 3 seconds of the ad. So now that you stuck through the end, I got a surprise for you folks. I'm going to be breaking down even more types of hooks that you can use into your ad creatives. Now, interview hooks I just talked about. Now, data-driven hooks are the other really powerful one that works really well, especially when they're tied to a pain point and relevant pain point with the audience. For example, let me show you an ad that's actually printing in an extremely competitive market, the agency space, at $6 per lead. So you can see 580, 633, and it's produced over 274 leads. Look at the video engagement. So if you look at the average video watch time, 8 seconds, average hook rate is 33%, which is insane. Anything between 25 to 35% on the hook rate is good. Average video play time of 8 seconds is also great. So these are examples of data-driven hooks in effect, where this leads with the statistics that's relevant to the pain point of the audience and XYZ% of realtors call out. Now, viral hooks as well, and I'm sure you've seen the cow jumping out of the cattle car onto the highway. These are trending now and everybody's using them, unfortunately. These work because they appear like native content. People have cat videos, they have animal videos, they have all kinds of stuff on their feed. These get me almost every time. But like I said, the problem with them is that everybody's using them. You can also take these different style hooks and combine them. For example, data-driven hooks mixed with interview hooks, or viral hooks plus data-driven hooks to be able to compound and continue to create open loops inside the ad. Now, we like to take these and combine them with viral memes on TikTok to create humor plus native style content for ads. Now, I also have a special offer for you where I'm going to give the first 20 people 10 viral TikTok meme hooks who join our Facebook group. These are all edited to include the green screen clips so you can plug them in right into your edits right away for your ad creative. I typically only give these away to clients. We want to grow our Facebook group, so we want people to engage. We want other SMMA owners to join because we want to create the best free mastermind on the internet for SMMA. So with that being said, go ahead, jump on the Facebook group, and I'll give you 10 viral TikTok meme hooks. These are memes that have gone viral on TikTok. Why do these matter? Well, because again, they appear like native style content because people see memes on their feed anyway. So that all said, I'll see you on the Facebook group. And if you want to see all of these things in action and you want to see a case study of how we did this in practice, then how we made $144K in revenue on 5.4K ad spend. So I will see you there.